Vote for whether you'd like to see me count down my top 10 favorite flying type Pokemon or my top 10 favorite poison type Pokemon, and the voting was so close, but in the end flying only just won, so that is what I'll be doing today. In the next top 10 video, I'll either be counting down either my top 10 favorite poison type Pokemon or my top 10 favorite dragon type Pokemon, depending on what you guys vote for. So to vote, just let me know what you would rather see in the comment section of this video. And of course, as usual, this list is 100% opinion based, which means if you don't agree with any of the Pokemon on this list, just go ahead and let me know your favorite flying type Pokemon in the comment section below. Let's go ahead and get into this list. At number 10 today, we've got a Pokemon that was number 5 on my last top 10 video, so I won't talk about it a lot today. It is Articuno. I reckon Articuno looks really cool. It was in the first packet of Pokemon cards I ever bought, which is why I like it so much. And out of all of the legendary birds from Generation 1, Articuno is my favorite. Articuno has a very good special defense stat with pretty good defense and special attack, although all of its stats are pretty good, and I really want to use it one day in competitive battling, but I still haven't gotten around to doing that. So let's move on to number 9. At number 9, we've got another Pokemon that I think looks really cool that I have used in Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, and Heart Gold. It is Crobat. I'm glad Golbat got an evolution in Generation 2 because Crobat just looks so much better in my opinion, and of course he's a little bit stronger. He gets the ability Inner Focus, which means that he cannot flinch. He has great speed with pretty good attack, and he works well with Taunt, Defog, Roost, Brave Bird, U-Turn, Toxic, and Cross Poison. So let's move on to number 8. At number 8, we've got a Pokemon that was number 7 on my top 10 favorite bug type Pokemon, so I won't spend ages talking about it, but it is Vespiquen. I've used Vespiquen in Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and in competitive battling just recently, and I reckon Vespiquen is a great Pokemon that looks really cool. It has great defense and special defense, and it actually did some great things when I used it in competitive battling. I was using it with Attack Order, Defend Order, Heal Order, and Air Slash, although it also works well with Power Gem. So if you haven't, you should seriously try it out because Vespiquen is a pretty cool Pokemon. So let's move on to number 7. At number 7, we've got a Pokemon that I've never used in-game or in competitive battling, that is just here because of how cool I think it is. This is one of my favourite designs when it comes to flying type Pokemon, and it is Braviary. I'm sure Braviary would be good if I did use it in competitive battling because it gets the abilities Sheer Force and Defiant, which are both great, and this guy has a great attack stat with pretty good speed and decent defense and special defense, and it can be used with Bulk Up, Roost, Substitute, Brave Bird, Return Superpower, and U-Turn. Those are some moves that I've heard work well on him, so I'll definitely give it a try one day, and that is just really why Braviary is at number 7, just because of his good looks. So let's move on. At number 6, we've got a Pokemon that was number 5 on my top 10 favorite Steel-type Pokemon. It is Skarmory. I've used Skarmory a lot in competitive battling. I reckon it has a really cool design, and I like how it gets the ability Sturdy, which means it cannot be taken out by one hit when it's on full health, so that really helps it out and means that it can work really well with moves such as Spikes, Roost, Steel Throck, Whirlwind, and Brave Bird. And this guy also has great defense, which is really cool. So that is why Skarmory is at number 6. At number 5, we've got Staraptor, who I've used a lot in Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum. I reckon it's so cool how you can get Starly so early on in the game, and he just becomes such a great Pokemon, and he's always good to have. I think, like a lot of the other Pokemon on this list, Staraptor looks really cool, and it's really good how he has a great attack stat with pretty good speed. He gets the ability Reckless, which increases the power of moves with recoil damage, which means he can work very well in competitive battling with Brave Bird and Double Edge. He works really well in game and in competitive battling with Close Combat, and I've heard he can also work well with U-Turn and Roost. So that is another Pokemon I'll have to use one day in competitive battling. That is why Staraptor is at number 5. Let's go to number 4. At number 4, we've got a Pokemon that was number 3 on my top 10 favorite Dark-type Pokemon. I've used this guy in Pokemon Diamond and in competitive battling, and it is Honchkrow. Now, Honchkrow is mainly only here just because of how cool I think it looks. I love the hat on its head. I reckon its hat just makes it look so cool. It gets the ability Moxie, which is pretty cool and means it can do quite a bit of sweeping and stuff like that in competitive battling. It has great attack with pretty good special attack, so it could be a mixed attacker or a physical or special attacker. I usually have it as a physical attacker with moves such as Sucker Punch, Pursuit, Foul Play, Brave Bird, Superpower, and Roost. And if you haven't tried this guy, make sure you do it, because he is one of the best Pokemon to use in UU in my opinion. So that is why Honchkrow is at number 4. Let's go to number 3. At number 3, we've got another Pokemon that has been on one of my previous lists. It is now part Fairy type, and it is Togekiss. I have used Togekiss in Pokemon Platinum and in competitive battling. One of the best things about this guy is that he gets the ability Serene Grace, which means if an attack has a secondary effect that has like a small chance of happening, its chances of happening will actually be twice as high, which means that he works really well with Air Slash, because I'm pretty sure it is like a 60% chance you will flinch the target if you go for Air Slash. Togekiss has great special attack, defense, and special defense, and he also works well with Dazzling Gleam, Nasty Plot, and Roost. If you haven't tried him in competitive battling, you really should, because he's another one of those Pokemon that is really, really cool. I'm pretty sure Togekiss is now in OU. I've been using him quite a bit. He's been doing some great stuff, and on top of that, he also looks pretty cool. So let's move on to number 2. At number 2, we've got a new Pokemon from Generation 6 that I know many people dislike, that I really like a lot, and it is Talonflame. I think a lot of people dislike this Pokemon just because it's pretty frail and because it is used a lot in competitive battling, but I think Talonflame looks like an awesome Pokemon, and I think Fletchling is really, really cute. The first time I played through Pokemon X, I was planning on just having a Blaziken on my team and making that the only fire type, but when I ran into a Fletchling in the wild, I stopped and thought, there is no way I'm not catching this guy and using him on my team. So that is what I did, and then when I had a Talonflame, I just thought, I'm so glad I got a Fletchling because Talonflame just looks awesome and it is so, so strong. Talonflame gets the ability Gale Wings, which means when it uses a flying type attack, it will have priority and go first in battle. Talonflame has a very, very high speed stat with a really high attack stat as well, and because of his ability Gale Wings, he works very well with Brave Bird, Acrobatics, and Roost, but he can also work very well with Flare Blitz, Flame Charge, Swords Dance, and U-Turn. I like to use him with Brave Bird, Flare Blitz, U-Turn, and Roost, and that has been working very well for me. And just because of all of the amazing things Talonflame has done for me in OU, that is why I like it so much. So that is why Talonflame is at number 2 today. Surely you all saw this coming. At number 1 today, we've got the amazing, the powerful Drifblim. Drifblim is, of course, my channel mascot. He is currently my second favorite Pokemon. Many people just assume it's my favorite because it's my mascot, and Polion's actually my favorite. It always has been, although I wanted to do something more unique because I haven't seen anyone with Drifblim as their mascot. I just realised that I was liking Drifblim more and more each day, so that's why I decided to make it my mascot. Back when I did make it my mascot, it was probably only my 9th or 10th favourite Pokemon, but now it is my second, and I've used Drifblim a lot in Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, and in competitive battling recently. I think Drifblim has a really, really great design. I think it just looks so, so cool, which is one of the reasons I like it so much. I really like its type combination. Flying and Ghost are actually 2 of my favourite types, and I remember back at school when I used to do Pokemon card battling when I was about 9 or 10 years old, my friends and I, we didn't know exactly how all the rules were meant to work. We didn't play with energy cards, and we just interpreted things the wrong way. So by the rules we played by, Drifblim was actually one of the most powerful Pokemon cards, and I remember paying about $10 for a Pokemon card of Drifblim, which was, in our opinion, the best Pokemon card that ever existed. And back then, $10 was a lot of money for me, because I probably only got about $1 or $2 pocket money per week, but I did not regret buying that Pokemon card. I've still got it. I just love that Pokemon card. It just means so much to me. So I guess that is another reason why I like Drifblim so much. In competitive battling, Drifblim is also pretty good. It has a great HP stat with pretty good attack, special attack, and speed. It gets the abilities Aftermath, which means if you take it out, you will lose 25% of your health. Unburden, which means if it uses a held item in battle, its speed will increase dramatically. And it can also have Flare Boost, which increases its special attack when it is burnt. If you use this guy in competitive battling in Generation 5, you give him Unburden with Flying Gem and Acrobatics, you will do so much damage and you will be so powerful, but unfortunately the Flying Gem is unreleased in Generation 6, so in my opinion the best way to run Drifblim in Generation 6 is with a Citrus Berry and Unburden, or with Flame Orb and Flare Boost, because that can also work pretty well. And Drifblim can work really well with the moves Will-O-Wisp, Substitute, Disable, Destiny Bond, Calm Mind, Shadow Ball, and Baton Pass. So I'd encourage you to use Drifblim one day if you haven't already, because it is a little bit underrated in my opinion. It's just such an awesome Pokemon. There is nothing I dislike about Drifblim. I love it so much. And you guys probably knew that I'd be at the top of this list today. So as usual, if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to vote for whether you'd like to see me count down my top 10 favourite Poison-type Pokemon, or my top 10 favourite Dragon-type Pokemon in the comment section below. And as usual, stay tough.